we're joined by Congress leader Sachin Pilot joining us live there, and we saw a few moments ago how he was taken away by the Delhi police. Sachin, tell us where are you right now? And we saw visuals earlier of you being taken away by the Delhi police outside AICC office.
We are in Narela police station in Delhi, and a lot of our colleagues have been detained, and we were driven here from the party office on Akbar Road. And no reason cited. We wanted to enter our own party office, which we should have been allowed to do. But I think the police and the government have made up their mind that no leader, no political opposition party, we are not able to do anything. I think the kind of action that the police has taken is not only unacceptable, but a very bad sign for our democracy, where you're using the police to do lathi charge inside our offices in New Delhi. That's never happened before. And the kind of brutality, the mishandling, the use of brute force is completely unacceptable in a healthy democracy.
Right. The Delhi police, however, has said that, Congress workers threw barricades on the police and, when they were chasing them, that's when they entered the AICC office. I
think it's all they're making up stories, but it's unprecedented. How can the police enter the premises of the main opposition's office, the headquarters of our party, and do lathi charge, throw people around? This sort of behavior has never happened before in 75 years of our democracy. And I was detained because I wanted to go to the party office. Why is that wrong? There was no slogan, there's no stage, there's no mic, there's no activity. Just wanted to go and show solidarity. And even last 2-3 days, all of us have been saying that we want to protest against what we believe is interference by the government of India on agencies like the ED and CBI. They can investigate, you can call for questioning, but the fact that we are exposing the political pressure they are mounting on the agencies, that the world and India needs to know. And we'll continue to do our job as a political opposition party, no matter what force they apply on us.
All right. The Delhi police, though, did deny permission for any kind of march. And we know since, Monday, we've been seeing these visuals of this face-off between Congress workers and leaders and the Delhi police. You managed to reach the AICC office while your colleague Dipender Hooda was not even allowed to allowed to exit his house. And he was tweeting about that and talking about how his house had been sealed and barricaded.
In the national capital, if you're detaining opposition leaders, members of parliament, office bearers of our party, senior people, ex-chief ministers, manhandling them, putting cases on them, putting them in police stations, what sort of a democracy are we talking about? If we want to oppose the government, they should accept that. They should fight with us on issues in the elections battle. But just because we support our leadership, Mrs. Gandhi and Rahul Ji have been called purely on political, it's targeting them politically. But if there was any truth in the case, there is no FIR, there is no wrongdoing. It's just 7 years later, they decided to mount the pressure because elections to the president are coming, the state elections in many states are coming up. But this kind of use of force, the complete brutality of it all, it's never been witnessed before. There have been previous governments, Congress has been in power and in the opposition. But this is what MPs, members of parliament, lady MPs, their clothes are being torn, they're being thrown on the street. This sort of behavior in a civil society is just not done. And I think
so the BJP has criticized the Congress, this Satyamev protest that you're doing. The BJP's questioned it. They're saying you're celebrating corruption, that let the Enforcement Directorate do its work. Let them question Rahul Gandhi. Why this, drama taking place day after day over a political leader being questioned in a case against him, which was
have you ever heard of the ED investigating a BJP leader? Have you ever heard of the CBI doing a raid on a BJP leader's house? So for 7-8 years, there is an atmosphere, the agencies will be used against anyone who opposes the political ideology of the party, the BJP, of the government of the day. So this is not tamasha. We wanted to have a satyagraha, quiet march, just to say that there's political pressure on the agencies. Why is that wrong? How is that wrong? Is it not our right to demonstrate, to protest? We are within our rights. But to deny permission, to mishandle people, to shove people in police stations, and for the last 3 days, the use of force, it's never been done before. I think it's very wrong what they're doing, and the people of India are watching what's going on here.
All right, and the BJP also criticizing the fact that tires were being burnt outside the ED office. So they've questioned that, and they're saying that, how is this a satyagraha? You're going ahead and burning tires on the streets of Delhi.
No, I think there's nobody supports violence, and we are a party that Mahatma Gandhi belonged to. There's a Gandhian way of doing things. And I don't think we've ever supported violence. We think people should not take law into their own hands. But the same law should apply to the police also, right? And to the government. You can't beat up and bruise people and lathi charge them and enter offices and ransack inside the premises of our offices. I mean, the law must apply on both sides, and it's the responsibility of the government to abide by the law. We have said that we want to have a peaceful protest, peaceful demonstration, no question of violence. But if the police is using such force against our senior leaders, then that's completely unacceptable.
So what happens now? You said you're there at the police. You've been taken to a thana. Do you have any clarity when you will be let go?
I have no idea. They shoved us into a bus and we've been dropped here. There are a few members of parliament, few MLAs, few senior party office bearers. We're all sitting here. I don't know what next they plan to do with us, but this sort of detainment, it's in India, this has never happened before. Not at the scale this what is happening now. And we are just wanting to go to our office. We want to just meet our colleagues, to raise our voice, to protest against what we think is misuse of agencies of Government of India. And this is the response by the BJP-led government in Delhi.
And how long will your protests continue here in Delhi? Rahul Gandhi, today is the third day of his questioning. We're not sure how many more days he'll be questioned. Then later this month, you'll have Sonia Gandhi being questioned as well.
I don't know, but for whatever it takes, however long it takes, our struggle, our protest, and our attempt to expose the workings of the Government of India, that will carry on. I think we all know for 7-8 years now, these agencies have been purely used to suppress the voice, muzzle the voice of our leaders in the opposition, especially the Congress party. The whole world knows that. But we are within our right to expose this sort of complicit behavior of the Government of India. And the BJP knows that by targeting the Congress, they're giving a message to all opposition parties that you toe in line, don't raise a voice against us, or else you'll meet the same fate. But we will persevere on, we'll forge on, we'll keep our struggle on, and no matter what it takes and how long it takes, we'll continue to march along with what we believe is our right.
And what would your response be to some criticism about how the Congress is, getting activated over Rahul Gandhi's questioning, but we haven't seen so much energy or protest over various other issues like price rise or, what happened in Uttar Pradesh recently when protesters' houses were being brought down, on all these other issues that concern people?
I think the fact that these issues is what BJP and Government of India don't want to address. Kashmiri Pandits are being slaughtered in the valley. There's huge price rise, unemployment, all these issues they want to deviate. That's why this whole atmosphere is being created by targeting the opposition leaders, right? To create a narrative, to not talk about the issues that we've been raising about unemployment, about health. I mean, this country is suffering. This record inflation, there's record unemployment, and no answers, no transparency, no accountability. When we ask those questions, they try and attack our leaders. So they're trying to divert the attention and the narrative so that, they keep on a constant boil. They want to keep this discussion in an acrimonious way on a constant boil so that the real issues are never addressed, sadly, and we will not allow that.